Today my topic is degree of freedom of the moment and 3 to 1 principle of location. So what is the meaning of degree of freedom of the moment? The degree of freedom of the moment define the number of direction can be used to change the position of the body. The degree of freedom of the moment are generally two types. Number one is translatory motion along the x-axis, along the y-axis, along the z-axis. Rotary motion, second number is rotary motion. About the x-axis, about the y-axis, about the z-axis. The rotary motion have a 3 degree of freedom, or rotary motion have a 3 degree of motion. The degree of freedom is equal to 0, degree of freedom more than 0. So how to explain it? This is a 3 bar. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Use this formula to calculate the degree of freedom 3n minus 1 2j minus h. 3 means this is 3, n means number of link 1, 2 and 3. 2 into j, j means lower pair. Lower pair means number of joint 1, 2 and 3. Higher pair is 0. 6 minus 6 is equal to 0. So degree of freedom is equal to 0. Degree of freedom is equal to 0, it means that this structure, it is a structure form. There is no any relative motion in it. So second example is, this is a 4 bar. Again you can use this formula 3n minus 1 2j h. Put the value of n here is number of bar is 4. 2 into j, number of joint lower pair 4. Higher pair is 0. 9 minus 8, degree of freedom is equal to 1. Degree of freedom more than 0, it means that the degree of freedom is equal to 1. So what is the meaning of A? 1. So one point is here where the force is applied to give the relation motion to this structure. So it is a completely mechanism system. This type of the structure is not a complete structure, so it is not a it is a structure. There is no any moment in it. So in this case, degree of freedom means the one point is here, the force is applied here to give the relative motion. Third example is, for example, this is the 5 bar. Again you put the value of here 3 into n means 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5. 5 number of link. 2 into j, j means number of joint 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. J means number of lower pair 5. Higher pair is 0. 12 minus 10, degree of freedom 2. Degree of freedom is 2. It means that 2 point here where the force is applied to give the relative motion. So the degree of freedom is equal to 0. Degree of freedom is equal to 1. It means that it is a completely mechanism. So here the degree of freedom is 0. It is not a completely mechanism. It is a not a completely mechanism. So again, you can see this figure. You can see this figure. This figure is a cubic form in a space. The figure is moved in a space. This figure has a 3 degree of freedom. along the x-axis, along the y-axis, along a z-axis. So this figure is also called the 6th degree of freedom. So you can see the figure, the degree of freedom along the x-axis, x-axis means translately motion along the x-axis, along the y-axis, along the z-axis. So the degree of freedom 3. Again, in a rotary motion, the body is moved above the x-axis, above the y-axis, above the z-axis. So the rotary motion is degree of freedom is 3. The total degree of freedom is equal to 6. In the opposite case, the body can be moved in an anticlockwise direction about the x-axis, about the y-axis, about the z-axis, and the body is also move in a negative x-axis position, negative z-axis, or negative y-axis. So the total number of degree of freedom is equal to 12. The total number of degree of freedom is 6, are generally used in a theory of machine. The total number of degree of freedom 12 are used in a production engineering. Again you can see this figure number 4. This is a V block, this is a V block, or this is a circular pipe. Just like this is a V block and this is a circular rod. This circular rod is moved along the x-axis and along the y-axis, and also move about the x-axis, anti-clockwise direction and clockwise direction. So the degree of freedom, the ratio of degree of freedom is equal to free allow upon arrested or rested. The allow means the body move in how the body move in, how many position the body is moved, how many direction the body is moved. So the body is moved is called the free allow. The free allow is here 5 degree of divided by the arrested 7. The degree of freedom of this when the pipe is moved on the V block x-axis, along the x-axis and above the and along the y-axis, and rotate the anti-clockwise direction or clockwise direction. So the degree of freedom ratio 5/7. Second case, free allow upon arrested. Second case, this is a block having the hole at the center. The circular pipe are moved in this direction along the x-axis, so that the pipe is moved along the x-axis. Degree of freedom is 1. Along the minus x-axis, so degree of freedom is 1. The pipe is moved the pipe is moved about the x-axis in a clockwise direction and anti-clockwise direction. So free allow degree of freedom is 1, 2, 3 and 4. The total of degree of freedom is 12 minus 4 is equal to 8 divided by 8. So 8 means the body cannot be moved in the 8 direction, or the body is moved in a 4 direction. So degree of freedom of this type of the figure, okay, you can use. Third number is, you can see again this figure, the degree of freedom. The ball are used on a V block instead of a circular pipe. The ball can be moved in the along the x-axis, along the y-axis, or above the along the y-axis positively. So 1, 2 and 3. The degree of freedom, the translatory motion, the degree of freedom is 2 and 3. So rotary motion about the x-axis, about the y-axis, anticlockwise y direction and direction. The ball can be moved in a dimension about the x-axis, about the y-axis, about the z-axis. So the free allowed degree of freedom 9. The ball cannot be moved along the negatively y direction, or not move in this side along the minus z, along the positive z. So the degree of arrested 3. So you can, the degree of freedom ratio of the spherical ball will be 3. These are the example, because so are used to free allow or arrested. Second number is the degree of freedom play a very important role to use for the jig and fixture. So how to locate the how to locate the workpiece on a jig and fixture. The workpiece locate on a jig and fixture with the help of a 3-2-1 principle of the location. 3 plus 2 plus 1 is equal to 6. The 6 means 6 pin. The 6 pin are used to locate the workpiece on a jig and fixture. So you can see this figure number 2. This is a bottom plate. Here the bottom plate is three locator three locator are provided here, and two locator are provided here. This is a bottom, this is the front view, this is side view, this is the top view, side view, and left view. This is a front view, top view and side view. You can see this uh, front view. This is a workpiece. The workpiece is placed on these three locators, and side pin is here. The workpiece cannot be moved in a negatively y direction, not move in a positive direction. Same top view, you can see the top view. The workpiece cannot be moved in a z direction or cannot be moved in a y direction. Side view, the workpiece cannot be moved in this y direction negatively and not move in a y direction positively. So the degree, so number of, so how to, the arrested total is 9 degree of freedom. 9 degree of freedom is totally arrested. So remaining degree of freedom 3. Total degree of freedom 9 plus 3 12. So 6 pin are used to uh, arrest the to stop the component with the help of the 3 6, and to stop the motion. Motion means degree of freedom. How to control the motion, how to control the degree of freedom with the help of a 6 pin. The 6 pin is located here. The 3 pin here, one pin is side here, 2 pin is here, 1 pin is here. The body can be moved. The body can be moved along the y-axis, and the body can be moved on a z-axis. The workpiece can be moved in this y direction, or can be moved in the z direction. How to control it? How to control the 3 degree of how to control the how to use the degree of 3 freedom. Degree of freedom is 3. The degree of freedom of 3 are generally used for the clamping purpose, not use a other locating pin. So adding the more locating pin cannot be added, because there are so many problems create loading the workpiece on the jig and fixture. The jig and fixture is mounted on the table of the machine to performing the machining on the surface of the workpiece. So no more no more pin are used to used in this principle because there are so many problem are create loading and loading the workpiece on a jig and fixture. So jig and fixture, you can see this figure number 6. This is the workpiece. The workpiece is mounted on a jig. The workpiece is clamping here. The 3 degree of freedom or 3 are used for the clamping. The workpiece is clamping here. The degree of freedom is here. The, the lever, this type of the lever are force on this clamper and is slide up along x-axis and along the x-axis positively and negatively to hold the workpiece. The remaining 3 degree of freedom are generally used for the clamping and holding the workpiece uh, during the process on the surface. The 3 to 1 principle of location are play a very important role to control the workpiece for finishing the work. The 3 degree uh, degree of 3 to 1 principle of location are used for the foolproof holding the workpiece and to get the good high grade accuracy, and also used to same identical parts can be performed with the help of a jig and fixture and 3 to 1 principle of the location. I hope that you will like my lecture. Thank you very much.